Yeah, great. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me this morning. It was fun seeing you at Dunkers this morning. You had a lot to say to that group. First off, how excited are you to be in the NCAA tourney with home court advantage?
It's great. Yeah, it's a special opportunity, no doubt. The tournament's always a fun time of year. I mean, it's what you work really hard to get there, and obviously to have the opportunity to be at home for the whole thing is pretty remarkable.
What are some things fans should be looking for? Because this is a single elimination tournament now.
Yeah, looking for lots of good volleyball. There's a bunch of good teams that are going to be coming through here. So there's no easy path to the Final Four anymore or the semifinal. You got to really have to grind your way through it. So we have Bryant on Friday. If we're fortunate enough to continue, then we either play South Carolina or Colorado. And that should be a heck of a match. And then, we'll see what happens next weekend after that.
You do have home court advantage, but at any point, are you concerned, or does the team, knowing the court, does that also make you a little more maybe overly relaxed for what could come?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's a fairly seasoned group, and I think we know enough to avoid that pitfall. On any given night, teams could come in here and play well, and the home court advantage is real, but it doesn't mean that it's a lock by any means.
All right, this morning you were talking about some of your coaching style and leadership in general with the Dunkers group, and a couple of things caught my ears. And one of them was how you have to take people that could be self-interested, an individual player, and put them together and make them interested in the group goal. Can you talk about how you do that and some of the best practices there?
Sure. Well, it's a natural thing, obviously, for people to be self-interested. That's not uncommon. However, when you're trying to build a high-functioning team or a high-functioning group, you've got to at least have them understand the importance of supporting the team's goals. Knowing that the rising tide is going to lift all the boats, and while they may not get maybe necessarily what they want out of the endeavor, at least in the short term, the group can still achieve something significant and they still get to have a part in that. So, I tell coaches, people that I talk to all the time, that coaches were salespeople first and then we're change agents. But if we can't get the buy-in, we're not going to change anything. So, how you set it up, the expectations you have of people relative to supporting the team goals, all that stuff really matters.
I'm talking with Coach Hugh McCutcheon. He is the winning coach of the University of Minnesota volleyball team. They head into the NCAA tourney on Friday. If you have any questions for him, give us a call, 651-989-9226 or 866-989-9226. Now, Coach, you have coached the American men to an Olympic gold medal back in 2008 and the U.S. women to Summer Games silver in 2012. What is the difference between coaching at that level and the collegiate level?
It's not that different. Although I think there are a couple of significant points of differentiation. One would be just the nature of the campaign. In college volleyball, here's the 2018 season. It'll be what it'll be, and before you know it, we'll be on to 2019. So there's always next year. In the Olympic world, though, it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's 4 years to try and be good for the last 2 weeks, to hope to be good for the last 2 hours. And if you don't get it right, then it's another 4 years before you even get a chance to go back. So the stresses are a little bit different in that world. And I think, in terms of the execution of the skills, maybe to win an Olympic gold medal, you've got to be able to pass a free ball 99 times out of 100. Maybe to win the Big Ten, you've got to do it 19 out of 20 or 9 out of 10, something like that. So, they seem like they're relatively small differences, but actually the space between, 9 out of 10 and 99 out of 100 is pretty big. So it's those degrees of execution that it comes down to.
So you all are now the Big Ten champs. A listener texting in, I really want our Golden Gophers volleyball to win it. You are definitely poised in that direction. You have called the Big Ten a grind, though. Has that helped your team?
Yeah, what I was saying is it either polishes you up or it wears you down. And probably you go through both of those feelings during the season, but it's a really unique conference in our sport. We've had 4 or 5 top 10 teams in the country at different times playing. So, every week you're playing a team that's a top 5 or top 10 team in the nation, and it just makes it a really rigorous schedule. But also that competition forces you to learn how to battle and to certainly compete week in, week out. So there's some benefit to it as well.
I'm talking with Coach Hugh McCutcheon from the University of Minnesota. He coaches the volleyball team. You talked this morning at Dunkers about high-functioning groups and some of the characteristics of high-functioning groups. And you also say, you're not just coaching them to win in volleyball, but to win in life. What are some of the lessons that the rest of us out there who aren't playing volleyball, but maybe we're in business, maybe we have teams of our own, employers out there, can learn from what you are teaching day in and day out to these players, Coach?
Well, I think there are some strong parallels between coaching and management. At the end of the day, you're trying to get groups of people to achieve a common goal. Obviously in the business world, it's some kind of financial outcome or, an increase in stock price or sales or whatever. We're just trying to pursue some different goals. But, how connecting people, trying to get them to all swim in the same direction, those are things that are issues for all groups. So just being really clear on what the task at hand is, what we're trying to do. I think the idea of trying to make these endeavors meritocracies as much as possible, that people can, by their efforts, change their stars. Certainly in our gym, if you work hard and you become one of the best players, you can start, you can play, but we don't promise anyone playing time or starting jobs. We just promise that we're going to invest completely in their development. And so the idea that people can work hard to change their life in the business world, I think that probably holds some weight. How to treat people, the idea of really trying to set some clear definitions of, what work relationships or team relationships need to look like in terms of how you treat people with respect. And you can be friendly, but you don't all have to be friends. And, maybe just setting some boundaries, that kind of stuff. I think that probably has some merit too. So, yeah, there's lots of things that we're trying to teach, as you said, that are not just volleyball lessons, but we think they're life lessons. Some of it has to do with this inevitable generational conflict of digital versus analog. We're sport. We can't look at a screen to fix out how we're going to side out in the fifth set or whatever. We've got to look at a person. We've got to have a real moment of genuine connection and communication. And I think those things are important. So yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those technical details. So you are tracking all of the stats. You're looking at analytics. How do analytics play into volleyball? We've heard so much about them with baseball, right? Mm-hmm. How do they play in with you and your coaching staff?
Yeah, it's a big part of what we do. We're very technologically driven. Certainly, all teams have patterns. All hitters have patterns. And so just using the tools that we have to kind of pick the lock and figure out, the most likely outcomes so that we can defend accordingly or attack those spaces. That's certainly a big part of our package here.
Let's talk. I want to share this text, nice text from a listener. Thanks to Coach Hugh. Attend many U of M sports as a season ticket holder. Volleyball, my favorite. Go Gophers. There is a lot of love out there. I noticed that I went to only one game this season. Awesome match. I noticed your fans are wild.
It's a good crew, no doubt. Yeah, it's a good environment.
What does that do for you? What does it do for the players?
Well, I just think it's such a privilege to play in a place where we have the kind of support that we do. That the crowd, the community, the university. We've got a lot of people behind us, and I just think we try to savor every moment because we know that it's not like this everywhere else.
So a couple coaches at the U have gotten a lot of airtime and headlines, Coach Lindsay Whalen, Coach PJ Fleck. What's the relationship among all of you coaches over there? People wonder.
Yeah, everyone's cool. It's a good group here. And, people are busy doing their jobs. So, it's not like we're just sitting around drinking coffee all day. But certainly there's a strong sense of camaraderie and a lot of support among all the coaches here, but among all the sports. So it's a great environment. Mark, our athletic director, I think has done a great job connecting the dots, and we've got lots of good coaches here. So it's a good setup.
All right, I'm hearing some buzz about men's volleyball coming to the U. What's the skinny on that, and what's the timeline, Coach McCutcheon?
Yeah, I don't know if it's coming to the U. We're just trying to get it sanctioned in high schools in the state of Minnesota. And if it ended up coming to the U, well, that would be great as well, no question. But the buzz is just an initiative that was started a year ago to try to get the sport played in high schools for boys, and the response was phenomenal. There were, I think, over 400 athletes who signed up, so over 40 teams, and they're trying to continue to grow that, and certainly the intention, the hope is to try to get it to be a high school sport here.
All right. Before we say goodbye, Coach Hugh McCutcheon, what are your wishes for the team going into, besides winning, obviously, and fans going into this NCAA tournament?
Well, I think it's a special group, and I think it's been a great season. So just I would hope that we can continue to get a little bit better today and get a little bit better tomorrow, to continue to try to put some things in place. I think these incremental gains, have served us well. But, I hope that we can just go out there and play our best volleyball and we'll be good enough or we're not. But I sure hope either way that we leave the court knowing we did everything we could to win, and ultimately that's all you can control in that moment of competition.
Well, Coach Hugh McCutcheon, we hope we keep you around here in Minnesota for a very long time. He is the head coach of Minnesota's volleyball team. Good luck at the tourney starting this weekend, and we hope to see you at the Final Four at Target Center. Wouldn't that be a great way to end this season?
It would be wonderful. We'll do our best.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thanks so much.